This is a video about the new Yeat album, Afterlife. This album, oof. I mean, I'm just gonna talk about it. There's a lot to say, but there's also not a lot to say at the same time. I listened to this album yesterday, and I was listening to it, and I liked it for a lot of the songs. There were some songs that just were not there for me, and the majority of them, not the majority, but quite a few of them weren't really good. Like if we look here, the intro, it was too long. This song is 4 minutes long. That didn't really resonate with me. I felt like a lot of the songs should have been much shorter. And the thing with like it's featuring himself, it's been done before, but it's just kind of weird. You know, his little alter ego. And this one, it was like double vocals with pitched up. It was kind of just weird all around. Some of these songs, like I said, were really good, I thought. Like the song Better Off and Rave Party. Rave Party is a super good song, one of my favorites on the album. You know, so this first half I was listening to it up to like, you know, Mean Fiend, which I did not like at all. I thought it was alright, you know, I'm listening to this album. I get to about track 11, How It Go, and it plays, and I recognize it. This is the leak that people added the Ben sound effect to. And he said, oh, it's going to be featuring the Talking Ben app. But it's not. Ben isn't on there. There's no Ben sound effect or anything, right? And I was like, oh, bruh, right? But that's where the songs, in my opinion, started getting really good, okay? How It Do, Some To Do, or How It Go and Some To Do were both really good songs. And then Back It Up kind of killed it for me. Back It Up was kind of good, and then it got really nice. Split was really, really cool. I don't know what it was. It was a nice song. Bad Bend, I liked it, and there's a part where he says something to something, I made this beat, and I looked, and Yeat himself produced this song, which I thought was very interesting. Heavyweight was just weird. I did not like that song. And then on Watch, he was whispering for some reason. So some of these, you know, I didn't like, but a lot of them, a lot of this second half really did this album for me. And the outro, Myself, the moment I heard the guitar and that drum pattern, I just knew that was going to be a classic. That song, when I listened to it, it physically had me floating in my chair. That song is beautiful. That is my favorite song on this album. It is actually quite incredible. The fact that an artist like Yeat is able to have these, it sounds like live drums probably, this guitar, there's like a wide synth, and these violins, these strings coming in around halfway through, just absolutely taking the song out. I mean, nothing else better on this track list, in my opinion. Like, that was just crazy. But like I was saying, some of these songs really just went on for far too long. They could have ended 30 seconds, a minute before they did. Like a really good example of that is Schmunk featuring NBA Youngboy, the only feature on this album, which I thought was interesting because Yeat was featured on Youngboy's previous album. That was the DJ Drama album. But the Youngboy feature was pretty nice. That was a pretty good song, I'd say. But then it just went on for too long after that. Yeat just kept going for no reason. It had no purpose, you know? And then a couple songs later, Nothing I'd Change or None I'd Change. It was slower. It almost felt like a club song, you know? It felt kind of weird. I don't really know what he was going for there. But then, Whoa was a super strange song. It was like a high energy beat, it almost sounded like, but then Yeat was just kind of chilled on it. I didn't really like that either. And then Now was the weirdest beat I've ever heard, and the weirdest vocals I've ever heard from his alter ego, La Geeky, which is just funny to me. And then Slam was the part in this track list where I really started getting into it. I was like, okay, there's going to be a lot of good songs on here. But then, you know, Seven Nights, it was super, you know, nice and spacey, but it was a boring song, you know? And then Mean Fiend, which I think was, you know, the end of this bad part of the album, really. Mean Fiend was just weird. Did not like that song. But then, you know, How It Go, Some To Do, that's when they really started hitting for me. So, this album, it could have been shorter, it should have been shorter. That is a bigger problem I'm seeing more and more. You know, the Lil Baby album. All these albums, they're getting longer and longer, but they're not getting better and better. They're not making them longer to have more good songs on them. They're making them longer for whatever reason. They feel the need. I need to make an album, you know. But in the long run, that's not gonna really work, you know. They would make just as much or more money just dropping, you know, singles twice a month, you know, when you really think about it. Before this album came out, I was saying that it was gonna be a turning point for Yeat, because this was either where he was gonna solidify himself as a genuine, you know, artist. Okay, he was gonna push off from this. He's gonna get bigger and bigger next 5 years, right? Or this is gonna be the point in Yeat's career where he's dried up and he hit the wall. Okay, he's dropped this 22 song album. I was thinking, you know, this is probably gonna be near the end for Yeat. This is where we're gonna start to see his popularity tapering off, because Yeat has been huge in the past year. Think about that. Pretty much a year ago is when he really blew up. About a year ago is when he really blew up. So to think that he's done what he's done in the past year is really impressive to me. He dropped his album To Alive, which was very well received. A lot of good songs on there. And then he dropped that little, you know, half EP mixtape album, Talk, or what was it called? It was called Life. It was the precursor to this one. That little thing was really nice. It had a lot of quality tracks in there. It was short and concise. It was only about 20 minutes or so. And all of those were pretty nice songs. But then he waits, you know, 5 months or so. And Talk came out, or Life came out in September. Yeah, about 5 months, okay? And he drops this, which is a good follow-up to that. But I feel like he just didn't hit the mark in a lot of places. I'm going to say it's a 7 out of 10. I would go 8. But it's not hitting the same bar for me as something like To Alive or Up To Me did, you know? So, that's all I really have to say.